Without a doubt, in my opinion, Costa Rica is one of the most beautiful places to live on earth. However, like any place, there are things that are different that you have to learn and you have to figure out, and Costa Rica is no different. On the second day that I was in Costa Rica, I quickly found out I needed an attorney, and I was just trying to make what I thought was a simple purchase. I was trying to buy a motorcycle, and when I was told I needed an attorney, well then I thought I was stuck. I'm like, well, I got no clue what to do or where to go. But that process was so normal that the owner of the motorcycle shop told me exactly where to go, exactly who to see, and everything was pretty much taken care of seamlessly. However, I couldn't speak the language, didn't know Spanish, and I had to 100% trust that attorney. Fortunately, everything turned out wonderful and I didn't have any problems. Well, fast forward 10 years later, since I've been here since 2013, there's been many times I've needed an attorney. You know, for example, something as simple as going into the telephone office and getting a telephone with a 2-year commitment and a 2-year plan. Well, as a tourist, because I'm not a resident, I couldn't get that. I had to actually hire an attorney, set up a corporation, a Costa Rican corporation, so that I could then get that telephone and that telephone plan. Now, a regular resident or a regular Costa Rican can go in there and get it without all of that hassle. But what do you do if you're down here as a tourist and not just coming down here for a week, but you're here because you're not a resident and you want to buy property, you want to buy a vehicle because you're getting things set up. It takes time to become a resident or a digital nomad visa. All those things take time. But what I found out is that you need an attorney for a lot of things. Well, not only that, but a lot of times you go and you have some legal paperwork. Well, you have to have a notary sign off on it. Well, in the United States, that's a pretty simple process. But in Costa Rica, a notary in the United States is not the same as a notary in Costa Rica. A notary in Costa Rica is a special type of attorney. He's really a high-level attorney with lots of experience. Well, I didn't know that. Well, you're going to quickly find out that if you're in Costa Rica for any amount of time, your number one most important asset will be your attorney. However, who do you trust? I mean, we've all heard the crazy attorney jokes, lawyer jokes, and all of that. And unfortunately, it's easy for people to say you can't trust attorneys anywhere. Well, it's especially true in Costa Rica. I've dealt with a lot of attorneys and had a lot of bad experiences because these attorneys were constantly trying to rip me off or gouge me because I was an American or a foreigner, and they just immediately assume that you have a lot of money. And so the price that they would normally charge the locals, a whole lot less than what they would charge me, that obviously is not fair, right? And so not only that, you hear the horror stories, and if you check and see, there's lots and lots of horror stories where people came over, they're trusting their attorney, and they're supposed to be professionals. We're supposed to be able to trust them, right? But they don't know the language, and the attorney, when they get ready to buy a piece of property, a house, a car, whatever it is, it's usually not something small, it's usually property or a house. And when the client thought they were buying that piece of property, well, the attorney, because he was corrupt, put it in his name instead of the people's name years down the road, because, you know, and that usually happens whenever someone comes over and they're maybe older in years, and the attorney's like, yep, he'll die in a few years and it'll be my piece of property. And so those horror stories do exist. Now, are all attorneys in Costa Rica dishonest? Oh, obviously not. Unfortunately, I have just not been fortunate enough to find someone who I could trust. I thought I did from time to time, only to find out that as I continued to work with them, that they were corrupt or would always try to take advantage of me because I was a foreigner. That's just normal, and that's just part of being in Costa Rica. However, it doesn't have to be. You see, I finally met someone who was an honest attorney who I've been working with for quite some time. And the fortunate thing is this person speaks 4 different languages. They're not a local. They're extremely hardworking. And it's because of this, well, I know you're going to need an attorney. And, you know, the best thing you can do is have an actual attorney with a team that can help you for all of your needs while you're here. So I'm excited because I'm going to be talking to someone I'm going to introduce to you, and I want you to meet this person because this person is going to save you thousands upon thousands of dollars whenever you need an attorney in Costa Rica. All right, Christina, welcome back. Hey, it's been a little while since you and I did some videos on the channel together, so I'm so glad to have you back.
Same here. I'm super happy to be here, Alan. Thank you.
You know, of course, it hasn't been that long since we saw each other. We were actually just a few weeks ago together at Estorrillos at the Costa Rica relocation event where you actually got to speak, right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. And to the organizer of the event in Estorrillos. It was super nice as always. And the attendants were such nice people and so many great speakers at the event that I got to meet because it was the last day also. So I got to meet some of them. It was really great to be there. And I'm honored to have been able to be there with my team also.
You know, I love going to these relocation events. You know, it's really an opportunity, and of course, it's a week long. We're there and it's not just learning. I mean, it's so valuable to learn all of the different topics, like you spoke on buying property and you talk about setting up a business. And then, of course, we had some other attorneys that spoke and other realtors. And of course, we had people that talked about residency. You do residency as well. Matter of fact, I don't know that there's anything that you don't do because, I mean, you're a hard worker and you, of course, I would say you, but it's, well, no longer you because when I spoke to you last time, well, you had started an endeavor and you quickly outgrew it. And I hear you got some great news, don't you?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much for asking. So a few months ago, I created Blue Zone Legal, a new law firm. And the idea is to have a team of Costa Rican experts that can assist, especially foreigners, in all that you mentioned before, buying a property, setting up a business, applying for residency, applying for the digital nomad visa, and getting contract advice, anything. We want to be a one-stop shop for any foreigners or even ticos, of course, but any person that needs help in those fields or related fields, we want to be there. We also have a network of allies that, like, we have an accounting firm we have an alliance with. We have insurance brokers we work with. We have a team that takes care of homologating foreign driver licenses. So long story short, I came to Costa Rica in 2014. I applied for the residency. I bought property here. I started a business. What I'm trying to do with Blue Zone Legal is I'm trying to provide all that I wish I had when doing those things. So that's why we have attorneys, notary publics, and everything.
Now, I understand completely. And of course, that was the whole reason I started my YouTube channel. I made every mistake in the book. And, I'm just a go-getter. And I didn't think, I've lived in Japan. I've lived in other parts of the world. And it wasn't difficult. Well, moving to Costa Rica, it shocked me. It was not like moving any other place. There was so many. The culture is completely different. Everything is different. And I didn't realize how, from day 2, I was here on the second day, immediately bought a motorcycle, and I couldn't buy a motorcycle without having an attorney. I'm like, huh? I just want to buy a motorbike. I didn't realize how important it was. I'm talking about when people come to Costa Rica, they need an attorney. And, I'm so excited to see you develop your own firm, Blue Zone Legal. You're the CEO. You've got a whole team of experts. And it's like you said, you want to be that one-stop shop because, well, just like me, you made a lot of mistakes. You found out things was difficult, and you knew you could make it a whole lot easier for everybody else if you could just be that one-stop shop that could help all the foreigners, help all the locals to be able to take care of their legal needs, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, I graduated in law in Italy. I started practicing the law in Italy, so I have legal background. But still, it wasn't easy for me relocating to Costa Rica. So I learned the hard way. You know, you need a notary for everything. Everything. One day, I told my boyfriend, "Hey, can you go to the mobile phone company and get this for me?" And then he went there. He came back. No, I need a power of attorney granted by a notary public. I'm like, what? So, but the good news is that most of Costa Rican attorneys are also notary public. So in our team, we have like Eddie Perez. He's our senior associate and notary public and attorney. So we can provide all of the services. We have Gia Wangwusan, who is our immigration specialist. We have a whole team. We have project manager. And the good thing that an expat may need to know is that we are at least fully bilingual. And actually, I spoke 4 languages. So I speak, of course, Italian, and I do speak a little German because I studied in Germany at the university. Our colleague from the immigration department, he also speaks Mandarin. So and all of us, we all speak Spanish and English. So, you know, sometimes language can be a barrier, and we try to help people with that.
Well, I know personally for me, because when I came here, obviously I had no idea, and I've been through a lot of attorneys. And, you know, unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, and I'm trying to learn, but that was a huge barrier for me. I had to 100% trust what they were doing because, you know, all the documents were in Spanish, and I had no clue what was going on. So it is nice to know that, hey, with your team, y'all have 4 or 5 different languages, and as you grow, I'm sure you're going to have more, and that is just phenomenal. Now, a quick question.
Yeah.
I know that at the moment from when we talked over at the relocation event, I know that you do happen to have an office in Nasara, and you also happen to have an office over in San Jose. But, you know, what if I'm all the way down on the southern border of San Vito and I'm buying property? Are you still able to help me down there in the border of at San Vito?
Absolutely. We come where you are. We come where people need us. So we are capable of assisting expats all over Costa Rica.
And a lot of that is because of today's technology. A lot of this stuff is handled online. So it really, there are no geographical borders. If you're in Costa Rica and you need legal help, Blue Zone Legal can do it.
Absolutely. And even if you're not in Costa Rica, if you want to buy a property with us, we can handle everything with you being, you know, comfortably in Miami. And we just send you the power of attorney. We help you set up a business. You don't even need to be here to work with us.
So that's awesome. So if I'm understanding right, if I'm a tourist, I come down here and I see that there's a piece of property I want to buy. Well, heck, I can go back home, and as long as I got all of the information, I can send you that information via email or whatever, phone contact, and then you can still represent me. I don't have to be in Costa Rica for you to help me.
Exactly. That is correct.
Now, that is awesome. And, you know, what I do like as well, because we talked all about Blue Zone Legal, and I just love that you're creating a firm and you've gotten all these experts around you. And, you know, I often wondered, well, you know, the reason you've created Blue Zone Legal is because you just have grown and grown and grown, and you've gotten bigger and bigger, and people just love how honest you are. They love your work ethic. They love that you're approachable and you communicate with people. But I wondered, okay, Christina, what happens? Are you going to be too busy to help everybody?
Well, you know, one of the reasons why we love our name is because it is also busy legal. And we like to say we are never too busy for you. Of course, we need to know
I love it.
There's a limit. You know, we are not irresponsible. We're not accepting 1 million clients with them letting them sleep in there and not receiving the proper advice and accompaniment that they need. But we are super passionate and motivated. So when we receive a message from a client on WhatsApp, we're not like, oh God, again, this guy. We're like, oh good, we enjoy this. We become friends with our clients. And this is what has, been the key to our success. I will say it's funny for me to say key to our success because I'm still impressed of what we have accomplished. But the common element of what we do is passion and honesty. And that's what I tell my team, as long as we are transparent and we are passionate and motivated, are we perfect? Nobody is. But we need to give the best of us and do our best every day with passion. And, we must be humble and know our limits again. And if there are mistakes on the road, we will fix them. And there you go. And we continue. But we must be transparent and we must be there for our clients. And they must know that they can trust us.
Right. I love that. And really, that's the reason that we're friends today. I met you. You helped me with some of my legal stuff. Did we run into some issues on my legal stuff? Yes. Did it take longer than we expected? Yes. Were you completely transparent and let me know what was going on? Yes. Were you very friendly, outgoing, and helpful? Yes. We became friends on this thing. And because of that, I've worked with a lot of attorneys, and none of them gave me the type of service that your team gave me. And that's why for me, a lot of people ask me on my channel, who can I recommend? Who can I recommend, for this or for that? And I'm very, very careful who I recommend because, I have had the wrong attorney. I have bought the wrong thing, and that happens way too much. So I'm very careful. And I know my experience with you has been phenomenal. And I know that, hey, you didn't know me from anyone else. And if my experience was great, I know that whoever you're going to help, it's going to be just as great for them. So I love that BZ Legal is never too busy for, for me, for you, for anyone. I love that. But I love that you're transparent in the fact that, obviously, you can't take on so many people that you can't handle them. And I love that. See? Yeah. And of course, people have got to realize that when they do hire an attorney, it was kind of like, you worked on the digital nomad visa for me. And, the reality is people have got to know that in Costa Rica, everything takes longer than you expect. Did we run into some issues on mine? Yes, but it wasn't because of your firm. It was because everything takes longer in Costa Rica. The websites, for the digital nomad visa said, oh man, fill it all out yourself. You don't need an attorney. 14 days, bam, you're done. No.
No, wrong.
I could not have done it without you. And it was supposed to be super simple, but it's just the way it is in Costa Rica. Things take longer. And even though they had implemented it, and even though Costa Rica would love it to be easy, it's not easy. So it's just one of those things. So it's good. So anyway, I'm so excited that you have a team and that your team is growing. But tell me, let's go back to that relocation event. Because you have spoke at 2 of my relocation events that I co-host with a couple of other great people. And, for me, I think the most important thing is that I love meeting the people one-on-one and talking with them, answering their questions. But the most important thing out of all of it is that when people come there, they actually get to meet people and get contacts from the experts that we have verified. They get an expert like you who can do their residency, all their legal work. They get experts like Pablo who can take care of shipping all of their stuff. They can get experts. And so it's these contacts. And then not only the experts that are speaking there, but then they get to network and meet other people who are coming to Costa Rica too, who might literally be living near them. And so, it's kind of nice to get to know other people. So for me, I think that's one of the most important things. What for you, and I know you didn't get to spend as many days there as I did, but what was one of the favorite things for you being at the relocation event?
Sharing our experiences and our thoughts about this country. The final panel of the speaker, I think, is always the most important thing. no matter how much information you give to the people that come to the event, the most important thing is the connection that you make with them, sharing our experiences, listen to their stories as well, while they're moving to Costa Rica, what they expect from Costa Rica, listen to your story, listen to the story of the other, organizer of the event. It was so interesting that I really enjoyed that.
I can't agree with you more because, for me, I came here married with a dog, and I can give you my perspective. Sarah Elena, who's one of the co-organizers over there. Well, she came here single, then had a child, and so you're hearing her perspective. Then you hear from Michael Allen, another co-organizer of the event. And he's a single guy, and he lives over in La Fortuna in a very touristy area. He's telling you his perspective. And so one person at the event can ask one question and literally get 3 different answers because, they're getting the perspective from all of these different people, getting your perspective as an attorney coming from Italy and starting a business. It's all these different perspectives and learning from one another. I just can't say how valuable that is. It's priceless, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Honestly, I really think the package that you offer is super valuable for the people. I mean, everybody I talked to after was so happy about the event, the information that they got, the people that they got to meet, the experience of Costa Rica, because it was not just, being in a room, listening to speaker all days. You also organize so many activities so that they get to know the culture of Costa Rica, visit beaches, do canopy, I think, surfing, horseback riding, and trying the Costa Rican food. I think this is really a great thing.
Absolutely, because it's not just sitting in a classroom all day long. We get to go to events, and whether it's waterfall rappelling or zip lining or horseback riding, it really is a whole lot of fun. And like I said, I came here 10 years ago, and I made so many mistakes. I didn't do the research, and I'm kind of a little hard-headed. I probably never would have gone to an event. I didn't know that was such a thing, but I probably wouldn't have gone. But I tell you what, I look back now and say, wow, if I could have gone to one of those events when I first came, I could have saved thousands upon thousands of dollars because I lost money with the wrong contacts. I lost money with the wrong business professionals. I lost money with dishonest people. And if I'd have gone to an event like this, I would have been more prepared to handle some of the things that I didn't know was going to happen by living in Costa Rica.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there's just so much, but hey, we had so much fun. The relocation event, I highly recommend it. I think anybody who is serious about coming to Costa Rica most definitely needs to go to a relocation event. Even if you're already here and you haven't been, it's well worth it to go so that you can make the connections and have the right people, because guarantee you're going to need them at some time or another while you're living in Costa Rica.
Yeah, absolutely. And the location was also great. Sunset del Mar was amazing, and I love the chef there. She is a Costa Rican woman. She's amazing. The food there is amazing. So
the food was really,
even just
really
for
good.
the food, it will be totally worth it. And being on the beach, But yeah,
absolutely.
No, really, it's very
the
good
location
event.
was phenomenal because we were, like you said, in Estorril's beautiful beach, my most favorite beach. And I mean, we're only like 20 minutes away from Jaco. Everybody has heard of Jaco, because it's kind of the most marketed spot in Costa Rica. So we got to go to Jaco and Playa Hermosa. And, so yeah, it was absolutely a fabulous spot. It sure was.
Yeah.
But so,
well,
hey,
people can still come. It was not the last one.
That's right. Matter of fact, we have another one coming up right at the very end of October, November. So if you are curious about the relocation event, if you missed the last one, make sure that you look in the description below or that very first comment so that you can click on the link, find out the dates for the very next relocation event. Hey, of course, I'll be there. Sarah, Michael, and yes, of course, Christina and her team will be there speaking again and seeing what they can do to help you. So, hey, if you're at all curious about it, you most definitely click that link so that you can find out more. If you want to know more about Christina and Blue Zone Legal, there's also a link in the description below so that you can click on it, download a PDF, and you'll have all of Christina's contact information. Look, hey, folks, I've had a great time visiting with Christina today. Christina, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I'm so glad to know you're never too busy for us. So thank you so much for being with us today.
No, thank you for having me. I always enjoy spending time with you.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you. Bye, Alan.